back again with another episode of the LadyStrong Fitness, and today we are talking to November Member of the Month, Anna, on how she went from skeptic to believer in 12 months. Hey, ladies, what's up? It's Brittany here. Yeah, we got Anna on the podcast today. So excited to have you on here. November Member of the Month.
So the big question is this. How were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are LadyStrong Fitness.
Did you ever think 12 months ago that you would ever be nominated for Member of the Month?
No, not at all, honestly. That's why even when Emily texts me, I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, wait, are you really asking me for real? She's like, yeah, for real. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Because I always see podcasts, so I'm like, yeah, it was a surprise. It was nice.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I want to dive right into kind of your journey here at LSF from the day that you started, the day I signed you up, which is crazy. So you signed up with me the day that you signed up. Let's kind of rewind the clock back to that day when you came in for your first couple classes. Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your head? And, why did you decide to come in? But when you did sign up, were you scared? Were you excited? Like, take us back to that moment when you first became a member and what was going through your head.
I think I was nervous. To look like I didn't know what I was doing. I had a really not so good mindset. I was just worrying about losing weight. That was my main focus. I always was used to just doing straight cardio, and then once I started getting into classes, it was just because, we do body weight, we do strength day, we do cardio day, we do all in the mix. So it just opened my mind up and I was like, okay, this is nice, but I was very nervous though, to be honest, to look, just I didn't know what I was doing. I was in front of not in front of everybody, but around people that already had everything down. And I'm like, so yeah, I was nervous, but I don't know, you guys made me feel really comfortable. The coaches, everything. Yeah. Coach Emily is I feel like my main coach and Coach Paula as well. So they made me feel really welcome at first. So
that's awesome. So first day, first week, first probably 30 days, you're like, what am I getting myself into? This is not typically what I do. I'm typically just doing cardio. This is all new for me. I'm nervous. Now, looking back at that, could you believe you felt like that now, knowing where you are now? Is it crazy to think that that was one point in time where you felt that way about the environment in your journey, and now you're crushing it?
Yeah, now I go in class, I'm ready to go. It gets me excited to one thing I learned is that it's not even always about motivation, it's really discipline, So I get up and I tell myself, okay, it's gym day, let's go, I'm happy, I'm excited to go in. So I know, I'll be going at 5 a.m, so I'll be looking a little tired, but I'll be ready. And the inside, I'm ready to go, so.
Yeah. I love that. So I think let's talk a little bit about the results that you've gotten so far. So I want you to share with everybody on the podcast what your results have been so far since you joined a year ago.
I've lost 36 pounds. I was 250 when I first started, and I'm at 214 right now.
That's crazy. That's wild.
I'm almost on my 200s. I'm so excited. That is my biggest thing for me because I've been in my 200s, high 200s. I was at 270 before. I've always been high 200s, and to be at 214, if I thought at 250, I could never see myself at 214. Yeah. Especially almost getting out of 200. So that's wild. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the things that you've really focused in on over the last year to get this 36 pounds off. What are some of the main things, for the ladies that are going to be listening to this, that are 12 months ago, or even maybe 6 months into their journey, and they're really struggling to get it together? What are some of the things that you've really been focusing on and dialing in, either mindset wise, food wise, exercise wise? We want your tips. We want your tips.
It's all three. It's I always said gym is going to be so helpful, and it is helpful, but it's really all about the food. It's all about control, to be honest. I used to have a mindset that I would want to be on a strict diet and be scared to eat. But in all reality, it's not about that. It's really just knowing how to eat and still enjoying to eat. And just your mindset, like I said, trusting the process was really big for me. I felt like I was also going to lose this amount of pounds because another person lost this amount of pounds in 1 year, but it's really trusting the process. And no matter what, like, you will get results if you just have a good positive mind to it and don't be so hard on yourself. And especially just to eat and just, I did that 30-day challenge and I learned so much in that challenge, especially about food. It was like my main intake that I took from that challenge was the food.
Right.
Because I'm over here thinking like I need to be eating a certain amount of calories, but you gotta eat your 3 meals a day, your protein, your carbs, your fat. It's so
Yeah.
it's really about
It's been a little bit of everything, I feel like, for you. It's been a little bit like your mindset around just workouts in general, right? You were thinking right away when you came in, all you were doing was cardio. Now you're really mixing in that strength training, the cardio training, the body weight training. You're doing everything. It doesn't just have to get on the Stairmaster for 60 minutes a day, and that's what it is. Your workouts can actually be fun. I think that's part of it. You mentioned learning how to count your macros and like understanding that food is fuel and that you can enjoy food and you don't have to starve yourself and you can still reach the goals that you want. And then I think also too, like your mindset of just like, listen, like this is my journey and no, it doesn't matter who's done what or been able to accomplish what. At the end of the day, we're all different people. We all have different things going on. And as long as I'm focused on me and where I'm going, then that's all that matters. And I think those are the three biggest things that have led to the success that you've had and that you will continue to have.
For sure.
From that perspective. So let's talk a little bit about like what the next year looks like for you. Like, what are some of the biggest goals that you have for yourself, moving forward from this point?
Continuing to stay on the track that I'm going, build more muscle. That's like, I think that's everybody's like little goal out here is, build a little booty or whatever, build a little muscle. Still, like I said, I still got some way to go and everything like that, but I'm happy. I feel comfortable in my skin. It took me a long time to even feel okay. Like now I look in the mirror and like I said, I'm not, where I would want to be. I know I still could, go, but I'm actually like really, really happy. So
that's good. That's good. I think being happy, like, and enjoying the small wins and like giving yourself the credit where credit is due for all of the work that you've done up until this point is really important. I think so many people get frustrated because they're so focused on the end goal. They're missing all of the great things that are happening in between. And when you can stop and like, smell the roses a little bit on the success that you've had so far, it makes keeping going so much easier.
No, yeah, you literally just said what I like. I couldn't really word it together, but you just hit it on the spot. It's really just taking the time and just being proud of yourself from like, where you started to now. Because if I'd be looking at pictures and stuff from like a year ago and I'm just like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, be proud, like, and I am. So like I said, it's still a lot of time to go in the next year. I hope I could just double it. Imagine if in a year I lost almost 40 pounds, like how am I going to look in the, like when the year ends? So I'm just very excited.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So to wrap up the interview, I want to ask you, what would be the biggest and best advice you would give to anybody? First off, let's give advice to the Annas 12 months ago. Those people who are out there listening to this that haven't started a fitness journey. Maybe they just started at LadyStrong. Maybe they are where you were 12 months ago. If you could take yourself back to that point, what advice from that perspective would you give those people first?
Be easy and kind on yourself.
Yeah.
I think that, just be nice to yourself. I think ourselves are the biggest judgmental person. I don't know how to word it. I'm sorry. I would say that just be nice to yourself, be patient and enjoy the process, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
nope, keep going.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. So I think from that perspective, that's a great piece of advice, because as women, we can be so hard on ourselves. You know, we can pick ourselves apart in the mirror and find different imperfections, but I think you do have to be kind to yourself, because at the end of the day, like, you have to be your biggest fan, because if you really don't have other people around you that are your biggest fans, like, you have to be your own biggest fan. Because at the end of the day, everything rises and falls on you and what you decide to wake up and do every single day, in the gym, at home, you know, personally, professionally. So I love that advice. Now let's fast forward to the Anna now and talk to the people who've been in their journey for 12 months or so now and still aren't where they want to be. What advice would you give them? Because I feel like your mindset has really shifted for you from day one until now, and you have a different outlook on your future. And I'd like you to speak to the people who maybe are being really hard on themselves right now because they aren't where they feel like they should be right now. What would you say to those people?
Do not give up. Do not give up. Please don't give up. Like, I think that's, like I said, like, when I first started, I was expecting these results, and I was expecting to drop weight and, you know, look like this by the end of this time. And I think if we just stop, then we're really not going to get any results that we want at the end. So just keep going, and it's going to come sooner or later. And I always tell myself, and I always tell the people around, my boyfriend and everything, I'm like, you know, you see this, it's slimming down, like, it's going away like little by little, but it's leaving. So just don't give up. And I think that's,
I love that. I think that's great advice. I love that, because a lot of the advice sometimes that we get is like, oh, you know, make sure you watch what you eat and things like that. Yours has really been, both of the sides of your advice have really been like mentality and like all in your head and like in your mindset. Like, don't give up on yourself. Even when something doesn't feel like it's going the way that you want to go, like you said, it's coming off, even though it's slow. Like, you've lost almost 40 pounds, like you're 14 pounds away from hitting the 200-pound mark, which is an incredible, like, it's wild for you. But at the same time, it's like, that wouldn't have happened if you would have given up 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. You remember when I would message you and I was like telling you how, like, at a certain point I was really fighting with like body dysmorphia, you know? I would like get a little crazy, and I would tell myself like, I don't see the changes. But then, like, imagine if I like stuck to that mindset, like, I would have just given up, and I would be like, you know, I'm not seeing nothing. Like, might as well just no. But I trusted the process, like I said.
I love that. Yes, you did. I love that. And lastly, I think one thing I do want to kind of end with is like how important pictures are. You've mentioned like you look back at pictures like a year ago and you look at yourself now, and it's like, in the moments where when you look in the mirror, you don't feel like you look different, you have to compare pictures. Because if you look at pictures side by side, you're like, holy crap, I'm a
pictures.
Yeah.
Take the pictures.
Even
if you don't like how you look, take the pictures.
I love that. I love that. Awesome. Well, any final advice that you want to give it to anybody, Anna, before we sign off?
No, I just hope, you know, everybody at LadyStrong goes in and everybody has their own goals. Everybody has their own thing they want to fix or whatever it is. It's just, you know, I wish everybody a good fitness journey and good luck. And just, like I said, don't give up. The mind is crazy, and just beat it.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for joining us today. And ladies, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.